Yo, what's up guys? I'm Rishi back again. So today we have Archie's car, BMW 330 F30. So you have it jacked up. The problem we having is the valve stem here is cracked and was leaking here. So you took off the tires, gonna change both valve stems one time, and also as I took off the tire, I saw this. So this here is the rear shock boot cover. Is basically serving two purposes, right? So this cover prevents any dust from going into the shock seal here where the shock moves up and down, because if any dust goes in there, the shock seal will get damaged and then it'll start to leak fluid. The shock becomes damaged, you have to replace it. And also this rubber here that's dry rotting and disintegrating, as you can see, is just breaking up into pieces. This here pulley trolley passing now by, what are they doing? So that there also is the bump stop. So what it does is when you're going over like a bump, right, and the back compresses, if it compresses too much, the shock will go right down and hit the bottom stop and it can damage the seal and oil will leak again. So that there is a cushion to cushion the blow, to cushion the impact when it's compressing, so your seal wouldn't damage. So over time that has been dry rotted, and this is on the left side. So you have it on the left side. If you walk over to the right side as well, you have the same thing. So the cover for the shock is good, but you see here the bump stop is not good. So this comes as one piece. So that's sold by BMW as one piece for the rear. The front, the buffer rubber comes separate, and the shock cover is a rubber one for the front and comes separate. But the rear, we have it here. So we have this built in into one piece. This is how it looks. So you're gonna just take off the shock, replace it with this. Yo, alright, so to take off the shocks is pretty simple for the rear. So we just have 3 E12 bolts here, and on the bottom of the shock, where the shock comes down to the bottom, we have a 18mm bolt right here. This is this one right here, and you have a bolt to hold on the other side. So you may need to remove this shield on the bottom here, which is a plastic shield, by 3 10mm bolts. So this here, you have 4 10mm bolts actually that holds this in, so you may need to remove that to get access the bolt on the other side of the shock to counter hold it if it's spinning. So that's this bolt down here. If the bolt is spinning while you're removing the 18 from the other side, you'll need to counter hold it to remove it. So let's go. Right, so now with that out of the way, we're going to be counter holding the bolt on the front side of the vehicle with the 18 and removing the 18 nut on the back side. Simple as that. This bolt can come out, come free here. The bottom of the shock is loose. So when you're laying out your bolts, just lay it out on the ground in the position that you took it out. So what I usually do is, if I took out bolts like this, that's the shield across there. So the 4 bolts, the 4 nuts that I took out from it, I lay them out in the same position, so all the nuts going back the same place. And then this bolt I'll lay it in this orientation with the nut here. So you know the bolt is going from the front of the vehicle to the back, and the nut goes on the back side. So now we're removing 3 E12 bolts here, and then press the shock down, compress the shock, and get it out from this area here. Simple enough. Rock the bottom to get it loose, and then take it out, keeping the orientation the same way you want it. Right, so yeah, back to it here, prising off this plastic guide here. Just go at it from both sides, lay it out in the orientation you took it off. Simple. Don't lose this seal. This seal here is important because it goes up to the frame of the vehicle, not the frame, the body of the vehicle, and if you don't have this, it'll be metal on metal. So you want to keep this intact, trying not to damage it, not to burst it, otherwise it'll need to be replaced. Ratchet and a socket regular. So this here is how it's set up. So you have the ratchet and you have the socket there. As you can see, there is no opening, it's closed because the ratchet head is in this area here. So how a pass-through socket works, similar in shape, but the only difference is here you have a hole directly through that you can see, because this allows the shaft of the shock to pass through here, and you can get to the nut here now. So it's simple, regular socket, but it's slightly different because the opening here is bigger, and instead of being held on with the 3/8 drive here, how this locks on in this fashion, the pass-through socket is an open one with guessing there's a 12-point head here, and then you have this side of the ratchet, sorry, is a 12-point head, and then the socket fits on onto the inside here, snaps into place, and then you can line it up. So here we have it lined up here. Gonna make sure that this is on reverse, right, so you anti-clockwise, slackening, and then we're gonna hold this with the 5mm Allen. You're gonna tighten that, you're gonna have that on tighten, which will be clockwise, and then you're just gonna remove the knot. Simple enough. So this is a look at this of this, how you have it here. So we have the Allen, 5mm Allen passing through here. Just focus. Right, so you have the 5mm Allen passing through here. Get it out. Yeah. Right. So it's out here, and then you have the 16mm here that's going on the outside, and then the 5mm Allen going on the inside. Right, and then you just removing it like this. Let's get it out. By hand. Right, and you want to hold on to this here now. Same orientation as we took it off. Rest it down. Remove your dust cap here, and you're just gonna clean up the top of the shock here. Right, so we're gonna test the shock and see how it's functioning here. We have everything disassembled. I'm gonna show you how to test the shock right now. So currently I just tested it, and I know that this shock is not good, not in proper working order. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna like this, up extended, and you're just gonna press on it down with force. It may be hard to compress, that's normal. Keep pushing, keep pushing. You want to push it all the way down as far as it could go. You'll feel like when it's bottom out. Right, so we now reach there, and then you let go, and the shock's supposed to rise. So as you can see, this shock isn't rising. The rebound on the shock is not good. So the compression is good because it's hard to push down, but the rebound is not good. So in this case right now, I'm not gonna worry about changing the dust cover because the shock is already not good. The shock needs to be replaced, so it doesn't make sense changing that, because if it's not functioning properly, it'll keep hitting the bump stop and it'll damage the new bump stop here now. So we're just gonna reassemble everything as it was and put it back on the vehicle. Alright, so here you have it, everything reassembled. So now this has broken off because it was just barely holding on, but that's not a main concern because we know the shock already damaged. The shock needs to be replaced already, so we're not too concerned about that. What we're gonna do, because we live in Trinidad and Tobago, because we live in Trinidad, what we have to do, prices here for parts are crazy, like just ridiculous. So what we do is check the part number, and then we order the parts, ship them down, and then we'll have them installed right here. But that'll take a while, so I just reinstall everything as it is. Didn't install the new boot cover, shock boot cover, because it doesn't make sense. So everything completed, everything tightened up, torque back to spec, plastic cover is back on, plastic shield is back on the bottom. Now to get these tires valve stem repaired and then put them back on. Alright, so it's time to carry the wheels to get the valve stem replaced. What I'm gonna do though, I'm gonna remove the valve core from the valve stem, which is the piece inside here. As you can see, this little piece here is what enables you to lower or increase the pressure with the air compressor and the fitting. So this here is just a tool that you use to remove it. Just gonna slide it on, turn it until it fits the groove, and then start slackening it. You'll hear the air is coming out. Right, so it's all pushed out. And the air from the tire is being released. What we have here now is we have the valve core, and this is part of the valve stem with the cap. So how this operates, I'll show you quickly how this operates. Let me put on the tool. Right, so this is how it is inserted into the tire. This way is up. This is the part facing the outside, and this is the part on the bottom. You have a rubber seal here. The black seal is a rubber seal, and then when you put the gun with the air compressor to air up your tires, it presses down on this, and you can see the piece on the bottom there. It goes in, so it goes into the tire, allows air to come out. 2 wheels loaded in the Jeep, ready to go to the tire shop. Let's go. Heading out in the chimney. Well, the Samurai manual 5 forward, part-time 4-wheel Suzuki. Let's go. Alright, so we just touched down at Sharma's. You have my boy Leonard here. Alright, so yeah, so here you're gonna break it right at the valve stem, because these are regular valve stems, not the TPMS sensor. So as you can see, the back of it is normal. Just going to hook it, take it out. Right, so we're outside. Otherwise you would have to break the bead on the other side of the valve stem, or 90 degrees off both sides, and then pull back the tire with the machine. So here, insert in the valve stem. You just take out the valve core, insert in the valve stem with the tool, pull it through. Boom. Check them. Tell them Trini Vlog sent you all. Let's put in the lubricant to seal back the wheel. Pressure it up. You seen? We have the boss out there. Yeah. Right, boom. Intact. Seated back. On to the next one. Quick setting. Alright, so finish. Here we have it. Jeep locked and loaded. Ready to go. Just pull along the cover in the back. Get it roadworthy. Right. And we outside. There you go.